So you can override this method if it's a block sprite and actually I'm in the wrong method here. I apologize. You want a collision. So a sprite, let's say you're a ship. A ship collides with the block text or block object. It cannot pass through that object. But there is a collision. So if there's a collision, you want to just ignore the velocity of the ship. So the easiest way to do this is to check for collisions before you update. Because that way, when you update, you will have a new velocity depending on your input. So when you check for position, check for position based on a block object, that velocity will become 0. And that way you will not need to pass through because it won't have acceleration or velocity to do any movement. Now you can override this update method, and or you can make a new status by making a new enumerated type and saying this is collided with the block texture or it's not. And if it is, do not update. If otherwise, you want to update. So there's several ways to do this. But the easiest way is to override the collision. And if it's a block texture colliding with any other object, do not allow that object to move by removing its velocity and removing its acceleration properties. Because that way, this position will be incremented by 0. And it'll just stay the same. Okay, so that's question 2. Now question 3 is a special weapon. If you've, let's see if I have it on here. Alright, so here's the space shooter tutorial. The complete version of it provided to you for the tutorial. After you read the PDF, you should have something like this. And you can move it around and fire. And one of the questions was how to create a special weapon, like a spread shot, where you press space 1 and you have 30 bullets. The 2 of them will spread out, and the middle one will just keep on going in the same direction. And if you look at the gameplay folder, there's a bullet class. Now you can, any class you create, you can override and do more stuff with it. Now the bullet that somebody wants, like a spread shot, that's not very dramatic in what it needs. It just needs 30 additional bullets, and 1 bullet will travel with at an angle, and another bullet will travel on the same angle but the opposite from the middle one. So you override this bullet class by naming it like spread shot. Public class spread shot : bullet. And whatever is to the right of the colon is what it's derived from. So it's public class spread shot : bullet. And then you can override the in the constructor, you want it to fire off 30 more bullets, or 30 bullets. It will not have a dedicated spread shot bullet, but it will have 30 bullets inside the spread shot class. So whenever you press the space button, it will fire off a new bullet by going through the screen manager, play screen. Whenever you press the space key, actually it's in player, I believe. Yes. Whenever you press the space key and you can fire, it will fire off a new bullet. Now you can manipulate this to hold what your active weapon is. You might have a weapon in your settings class that is a static class. So you can just call if settings.weapon is equal to 1, you just fire off a standard bullet. If settings.weapon is equal to 2, you fire off the spread shot bullet. And playscreen.add accepts game object. It does not care if it's bullet, player, enemy, spread shot, whatever. Since everything should be derived from gameplay object, it does not care what object you set it as. So you can just say playscreen.add new spread shot this. So now the spread shot is a whole new class that's derived from bullet. Or it does not have to be a derived class. All spread shot has to do is have the use of 3 standard bullets and set the velocity for the left and velocity for the far right to be something other than straight up or straight sideways. So you can set it as a wide angle to where it shoots off so far that it looks like it's moving horizontal, or you can set it at a short angle to where it looks like it's shooting straight up. So what you want to do is find out the angle you want to shoot it as. You can store that inside the spread shot class itself. Just store the angle you want the bullets to be between. I'll use at 45 for an example. Then the left bullet, assuming that we're on the same look of the game here, we just want to look straight up. You do not want to add rotation or anything. So if we look straight up, let me pause this by holding the... You see we have one bullet that moves straight up. We're going to have another one to the left of that and another one to the right of that. The angle between, or the angle you want it to fire, should be whatever you want. I'll choose 45, for example. So by using that as a sample, we just want to shoot straight up from the bottom.